Hello and welcome, everyone. We will get started soon on our My Path to ASU College Connections featuring Thunderbird School of Global Management. My name is Asia Smith, and I'm Associate Director of Online Programs at Thunderbird. We are so excited today to host this program with the My Path to ASU team, who will go over some valuable information later in the presentation. I would like to introduce you to our Thunderbird team. We have Professor Roy Nelson. He is Senior Associate Dean of Undergraduate Programs and Professor of Global Management. Rachel Moe, Associate Director of Academic Services. Jasmine Hydro, Academic Success Advisor. We also have Steve Gemmiti, Online Director for Thunderbird Programs. Myself, and unfortunately, Freddy Delgado, our Academic Success Advisor for Online, is not joining us today, but you will hear from the rest of the team. Let me go ahead and move it over to Professor Roy Nelson to talk about the Thunderbird story.
Well, we're so excited to tell you about Thunderbird because it really is a special place. I think this is an incredible opportunity for students. But to learn a little bit more about Thunderbird, I think it's useful to know something about Thunderbird's background. And, Thunderbird actually was not originally part of Arizona State University. In fact, it started out as an air base during World War II. And the purpose of the air base there in Glendale, Arizona, was to train pilots to go off and fight in World War II. Now, after the war, one of the generals at this air base said, we really should turn this into an institute to train international managers and to train former pilots that have been going off to fight the war to now go off and to do business with people in other countries and to work with people from other cultures. And maybe, just maybe, if we have more people doing that, more people getting to know other cultures and working with people from all these other countries, maybe something as terrible as World War II would be less likely to happen again. And so that, honestly, that was really the very idealistic vision of Thunderbird right from the start, to focus on doing that. And you can see it was summed up very nicely by one of the first presidents of Thunderbird: borders frequented by trade seldom need soldiers. And if you think about that quote, what that means is, if you're doing business and working with people from other countries, other cultures, maybe you're less likely to go to war with them. And so this was from the very beginning. Thunderbird had this idealistic vision. Now, if you see on the next slide, over time, Thunderbird's vision continued to evolve. Now we has kept that original vision of promoting global prosperity worldwide. If managers are doing business in other countries, they're not just there to make a profit, but they're actually doing something good. They're creating jobs, they're creating opportunities. And so that remains the vision of Thunderbird. If you look at the timeline, though, over time, Thunderbird's operations evolved. And so we originally were focused entirely on training former pilots to be undergraduates. And but over time, what happened is that we decided, eventually Thunderbird became so well known, so renowned for its international management, international business programs, that we eventually, by 1970, were focusing exclusively on graduate training. We started a very famous master's in international management, and we became world renowned as the place to go if you were interested in doing international business. And so Thunderbird, in fact, over time, when U.S. News and World Report started doing its rankings of special fields for master's programs, we were ranked #1 in the United States for 17 years in a row in the field of international business. And so that's the kind of reputation that Thunderbird developed. Now, over time, what began to happen is we said, we are becoming so famous, our reputation is so great, but here we are still just a private standalone business school in Glendale, Arizona. It would be fantastic if we could partner up with a larger research university. And we said, if we could become part of Arizona State University, we would have even more impact. We would have even more resources available to us. And so that was the thinking at Thunderbird. And at the same time, the president of Arizona State University, Michael Crow, said, he had always admired Thunderbird. He'd always respected Thunderbird. He said, this is like a crown jewel in Arizona. Why isn't Thunderbird part of ASU? And so he wanted Thunderbird to become part of ASU. So finally, in 2014, we did it. We teamed up and we went from being a private standalone business school with its incredible reputation to now in 2014, we became officially part of Arizona State University. And so just as like there's the Fulton School of Engineering and the Barrett Honors College and these kinds of things, there now is the Thunderbird School of Global Management at ASU. And we now are taking advantage of all of those incredible resources at ASU. And Michael Crow said, I'm not going to interfere too much with Thunderbird. I'm going to leave it alone, let it do its thing. But now we're going to get the benefit of all these incredible resources. So that's what happened. And in 2015, we began offering classes. And, we had given up our undergraduate program over the years, but now in 2015, we said, this is the time to bring it back. And let's do it, not in Glendale, Arizona, but let's do it in at the ASU's West Campus, because that is where our undergraduate students can get all the general studies, general education requirements that undergraduate students need. And it's a wonderful, beautiful location. You'll see pictures of it later. We consider it the most beautiful campus at ASU. It's perfect for undergraduate students. And so that's where our undergraduate program is located now. And our graduate program moved from its old headquarters in Glendale to downtown Phoenix in a brand new global headquarters building. You'll see some pictures of that as well. And so our graduate professors, this very distinguished professors, teach also in the undergrad program. The same professors teach in both programs. They just go back and forth. And what's wonderful for our undergraduate students is they get small classes, relatively small classes, maybe 20, 30 students at the most, interacting with these very distinguished senior professors who teach also in the graduate program. And that is our immersion program. And so now, of course, we not only offer the immersion program at ASU's West Campus, but of course, wonderful online programs taught by those same faculty. Those programs, we're very proud of those. We have Steve Gemmiti here, director of that program, and Aisha representing that program. So that is we were very proud of our undergraduate online programs as well. And so this is now Thunderbird, and you see our vision through this whole time has remained the same. Our students are not only going out in the world and creating jobs and opportunities and making a lot of money internationally, but also doing something good in the world. Our students have this very idealistic vision. They're advancing and promoting global prosperity worldwide. And now our dean, Dr. Sanjeev Kagram, very distinguished fellow. He also taught for many years at Harvard Business School, Harvard School of Government. Now is our dean at Thunderbird, and he said, we want to continue to do this. Of course, that's the essence of Thunderbird, international business and management. But of course, we also want our managers to take advantage of all of the breakthroughs in technology that are happening. Some people call this incredible technological revolution we're living through right now, the fourth industrial revolution. He said, of course, our managers need to take advantage of all of those changes that are happening. The artificial intelligence is so integral to marketing, for example. So of course, our managers are also going to take advantage of that as well. So this is the wonderful new Thunderbird. So you can imagine if you go to the next slide, you'll see the results of all this. You would expect that our school would continue to maintain that incredible rankings and reputation. And guess what? Just in 2023, the organization that ranks universities globally, worldwide, this ranks Oxford and Harvard and all the Cambridge, all the best universities in the world, decided that Thunderbird, yes, deserves the ranking for international trade as #1 in the world. So this is just 2023, we received this ranking. You can see in our master's program, the Wall Street Journal and the Financial Times did a ranking. They did it only 1 year, 2019, they decided to rank master's programs. And of course, our master's programs received the #1 ranking, Masters in Management. So this is the kind of thing. And of course, those graduate professors also teach in our undergraduate program. So our undergraduate students are getting these incredible advantages. And then on the right, you see the rankings for ASU. And so ASU has its own, strengths. It's been ranked #1 for so many years in innovation. So it's not often that you can get a chance to go to a school that's got two #1 rankings, ranked #1 in international trade, also #1 in innovation for ASU. So in a school like that, you would expect to see some incredible people coming out of Thunderbird, out of a school like that with its amazing reputation, its long history, training managers. And look at the next slide, and it gives you a sense of the kinds of people that have graduated from Thunderbird. Well, I'm going to show you that in a minute. But first, before we get to that, I wanted to just say one more thing about our international network. You see that Thunderbird has established centers of excellence. Those are regional offices in many countries all over the world where we actually have a physical presence, and anyone traveling to those countries can visit these offices, can meet with the staff. And these people are training, they're doing training for corporations, for managers in global companies. They're doing other kinds of things. We're doing a lot of recruiting of international students in these offices. But this doesn't even tell the whole story about Thunderbird's international network, because in fact, we have 170 alumni chapters all over the world in over 150 countries everywhere in the world. There are Thunderbird graduates doing business, and that's part of what we like to call the Thunderbird mystique. You'll hear more about that later, but something that makes Thunderbird so special is our alumni love to help other Thunderbirds, or T-Birds as we call them. So for the rest of their lives, students that graduate from our program, anywhere they go in the world, there's somebody there to greet them, to meet them. There's Thunderbird alumni that want to help them. We call this part of our Thunderbird mystique. That's something that all Thunderbirds share, this love of international travel and getting to know other cultures. And so that the rest of their lives, any alumnus of Thunderbird has this. You can go to any country almost in the world, and there'll be someone there with expertise, a local there that is a graduate of Thunderbird that just can't wait to help you, show you around, introduce you to people. And what an incredibly powerful thing that is. So it's no wonder that a school like this would have some pretty amazing alumni. Look at this next slide. It just gives you a tiny sampling of the alumni that Thunderbird produces. Now, this happens to be from our graduate program. Our undergraduate students are still new. They're rising in their careers. We're going to have a list like this soon for them, but this gives you a sense of the kinds of people coming out of Thunderbird. The current CEO of PepsiCo, the current CEO of Johnson & Johnson, the current CEO of Smucker. This gives you some sense of the amazing sort of people that Thunderbird produces. This is just a tiny sampling of the kinds of people we have doing business all over the world. And I just wanted to tell you, to just let you know how special Thunderbird is. Now, Rachel, in the next slide, is going to tell you a little bit more specifically about our Thunderbird undergraduate programs and curriculum.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Nelson. We have 2 undergraduate degree programs, so it's pretty easy to remember: the Bachelor of Global Management and the Bachelor of Science in International Trade. We will go into more details about both programs on the next 2 slides. So the Bachelor of Global Management, and as well as the Bachelor of Science in International Trade, have multiple intakes throughout the year. For our campus program, students can start in the fall semester in August or in January for the spring semester. Students can also start in the summer and take other required ASU classes, but there won't be Thunderbird specific classes available in the summer. Online students have the opportunity to have multiple start dates throughout the year. ASU Online, if you may or may not know this, has accelerated courses that run in 7.5-week sessions. So online students have the opportunity to start a couple times during the fall, the spring, and the summer, and could take Thunderbird classes or other required courses. Both programs are 4 years and have a hands-on real-world component with an international internship. We'll go into that a little bit later. Both programs require 120 credit hours, of which 30 credits must be taken at ASU, whether it's through the campus program or the online program. Programs are either going to be face-to-face at our West Campus, which is in Phoenix, or Glendale, Arizona, where West Campus is on the border between both Phoenix and Glendale. And the online program, of course, is wherever the student is located, right? It's 100% online. The undergraduate admissions application is going to be the same one for ASU, and students would just apply, and they would not need to have meet any additional requirements beyond the ASU admissions requirements. For the Bachelor of Global Management specifically, that major offers 2 tracks. One would require a language and one doesn't. So if you have students who are interested in learning another language up through sort of the upper intermediate level, the language track would be a great choice. If you have students who don't want to study another language, fine, they could just pick the business and culture track. Next slide, please. And Asia, there's a box on the screen covering the right side of the slide. If you could please adjust that. With the Bachelor of Science in International Trade, all of the other details we just covered apply to that. Another exciting thing, though, about this major is that it's STEM certified. So this means for campus international students, they would have an additional 2 years of optional practical training beyond the 1 year that international students already receive. That means they could work for 3 years in the United States upon graduation with the Bachelor of Science in International Trade program. This program is a little bit more math intense than the Bachelor of Global Management, a little bit more quantitative. So there are some additional math requirements, some brief calculus classes versus just the college algebra requirement that's in the Bachelor of Global Management. The Bachelor of Science in International Trade is great for students who are interested in supply chain or global logistics, and working between products between borders, also big data. So students who are interested in data analytics tend to enjoy this major as well.
Okay, and there's some great options for our undergraduate students who are looking forward to a master's degree and starting that early. For our campus students, we do have an accelerated program for Masters of Global Management, which is in Phoenix, Arizona, and has traditional fall and spring semester start dates. The requirements is that you do maintain a 3.0 or better in your undergraduate program. If you are at a 3.25 or better, you can waive the entrance exam requirement for the master's program. And what this allows students to do is essentially take 12 credits or 4 classes in the master's degree program and share that down between both the undergraduate program and the master's program. So it allows them to finish the master's degree early. In this case, for our MGM program, there are 16 different concentrations, so a lot of different options, but this means that they could potentially finish the program in 1 year versus 2 years in the master's level. And they're taking those 12 credits that are shared at an undergraduate tuition price, so great cost savings. That's about the same for the online Accelerated Master of Leadership and Management program. And that has start dates more frequently because we do have mid-semester start dates for our online program. That's 100% online, but there are travel options. Right now, we do not have a entrance exam for our online Masters of Leadership and Management program. So it's just maintaining the 3.0 GPA in the undergraduate program. Again, the same, taking 12 credits or 4 classes in the master's level program at an undergraduate tuition rate to share that between programs. And this is possible for the online program to potentially finish before a year, so under a year's time. So again, just a great option for students to stay here at Thunderbird to advance onto their master's degree. And now we're going to go over our course overview of the program with some more details with Steve Gemmiti.
Hey everyone, this is just a partial list of some of the classes which are offered. In the Q&A session at the end, please feel free to ask questions regarding the Thunderbird specific courses that make up each of the programs. The BGM, or the Bachelor of Global Management, does have 13 specific Thunderbird courses, and the BSIT, or the Bachelor of Science in International Trade, has 15. And as Rachel alluded to, there is a little more quantitative based style courses that comprise it. Now, all TGM classes use case studies approach, where students become the decision maker. In fact, in groups of 3 to 5, they decide on a collective solution, and they're really encouraged to use their cultural background as part of the solution. I teach TGM 391, which is titled Global Business and Professional Development Skills. In it, we focus on critical thinking skills and problem-solving skills, as well as what makes up an effective business presentation. And then we get to utilize it in developing and improving their networking skills. In the next couple slides that Rachel's going to show you, she's going to highlight some of the other differentiators that make up our programs.
Thank you, Steve. What's really exciting is that students have the opportunity to study abroad. Study abroad is a great way for students to just keep building their Thunderbird Global Network and get lots of real world experience that will apply to their future, right, and their career. So with study abroad, ASU has a very robust program through the Global Education Office. And in particular, our Thunderbird students are more than welcome to take electives, general study coursework, and also some major specific classes to apply to their degree. This, of course, will be dependent on the location and the country that they're choosing. So they would definitely need to talk to their academic advisor with Thunderbird to make those decisions. We have a really exciting Thunderbird specific semester at Sea scholarship opportunity. And alumna from our Thunderbird graduate program has donated $50,000 in scholarships every fall and spring semester for the next 5 years for our Thunderbird undergraduate students to participate in the semester at Sea study abroad. So students will be on a cruise ship and go to multiple ports, 13 plus ports in all of these amazing places all over the world. And they are able to get some funding through this scholarship opportunity if they are awarded it. Students are also able to complete their required international internship abroad in a different country, or even remotely through the Global Education Office's Global Virtual Internship Program. Now, these are just 2 ways to complete the internship, and we'll go into more details on the next slide. Asia, are you able to move the chat that's covering the slide?
Okay, I'm getting information about that, but I'm not able to see that in the presentation. Sorry, all. We'll try to get, is it what kind of chat box?
I believe for us, it's a black box, but it's towards the right-hand side of the slides and it's covering the right-hand portion.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, everyone. So I think that may be, is it still there?
It looks like it might be a video preview box of
Oh,
some sort.
I'm going to do a stop share for a moment. All of us, so sorry. Give me a moment. Okay. Let's see if did that fix it? Let's see. Give me just one moment.
Sure
Sorry, y'all.
Share the sound when you reshare.
Okay, yes. Sound share.
There we go.
We're good. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Sorry about that.
Sorry for the pause. All right, so the Thunderbird undergraduate programs, both the online and campus program, have an applied learning focus. This means that students are gaining real world experience with some of their required program requirements, excuse me. Students will do an international internship, and this can be completed abroad or it can be done locally, as long as the student is working on a project that has a global focus. So for example, importing and exporting between countries, or working on a marketing a project expanding into a foreign country. The capstone seminar is taken in the student's senior year, and this is a consulting project for an actual global company. And students work in teams to find solutions to a problem that a company is having, and then they present their solutions to the company at the end of the course. This is a great resume builder and just a way for students to gain real world experience in one of their classes. Dr. Nelson will cover some exciting internships.
So we're very proud of that applied aspect of our program, that capstone seminar with some specific companies. We've worked with Honeywell and Axon and other companies. And then the internships, I mean, this gives you some examples of the kinds of internships our students have had. For example, Zach Tisch landed a great internship with Ford Motor Company, and they asked him to assess opportunities for Ford for its electric vehicles in markets all over the world. They were so pleased with Zach's performance that they put him on the executive track, but right then Ford had some layoffs, and unfortunately he was one of the people let go. No matter, Toyota snapped him up and said, we're going to put you on the executive track to do the same thing and assess opportunities for our cars worldwide. So Zach landed on his feet. This gives you just some examples. Megan Tracy got a great internship with BandLab Technologies in Singapore, a company that somehow was using technology for music videos and so on. And so now she's actually the group strategy vice president for BandLab Technologies in Singapore. So this gives you some idea. Edward Hernandez, you see, he had an internship with Intel Corporation. I don't know if you recognize the woman standing next to him, but her name is Barbara Barrett. You may have heard of the Barrett Honors College. Barbara and her husband, Craig Barrett. Craig was one of the founders of Intel Corporation. They are billionaires, and they helped found the Barrett Honors College. Barbara Barrett also, before we were part of ASU, Barbara Barrett served as president of Thunderbird for a time. So this is the kind of close international global networks that Thunderbird students have. We're able to leverage that. This tells you also a little bit about our alumni network and the incredible extent of our network. And of course, that is very useful when students are looking for international internships. As Rachel mentioned, our students also, many of the online students do virtual internships. Those are fantastic experiences too. And believe me, students really get the experience of working with a company remotely and getting a sense of the corporate culture in many of those experiences. So we've got some great opportunities there. In the next slide, you get a sense of the companies or organizations that our students have worked with in this next slide. And so as you can see, the students not only work sometimes for big multinational corporations, sometimes for smaller companies, sometimes they start their own business, but many of our students also work for government agencies as well. We have students that have worked for the State Department. We have a student working at United Nations, a couple of them right now, even the CIA. So this is the sort of kinds of careers that our students do after Thunderbird. Next slide. And we're going to go now, I think, is it to Jasmine?
Thanks, Dr. Nelson. Thunderbird students have assumed lots of different roles as they create their futures from what they've built with us. As Dr. Nelson discussed, business owner, business analyst, entrepreneur, foreign service, general manager, nonprofits, marketing is very popular with our global management. It's kind of wide open. Students can forge their own paths built upon the basis that they gain here at Thunderbird. And the Bachelor of Science in International Trade, Commodities, Import and Export, International Business Development, Market Analysis. Lots of our students do internships in international market analysis. Logistics, procurement, and supply chain are also very big with the international trade major. Next slide. The Thunderbird mystique. Professor Nelson has discussed this previously. Our program is a truly multicultural program where students from all over the world come together to work together in their classes, applying real world business education in their classes. And through that crucible that they work in, they really make such deep connections, both among their groups, but with their faculty and alumni. So a good fit for us is students who are interested in business, leadership, cultures, and languages. They have a desire to work globally, travel globally, passionate about traveling, interested in making connections across cultures, have a global mindset. Maybe your student is from a multicultural background and they're looking to grow that part of themselves after high school or after their college experience, and would like to be prepared to be successful and skilled to communicate effectively with people of different cultural backgrounds. It's really amazing what I see our students come together to do every semester. We support the growth of the Thunderbird mystique through our student life. Our students use T-Bird Connect, which connects them with Thunderbirds currently in our programs and alumna across the world. ASU Sun Devil Sync hosts many Thunderbird organizations. Our immersion program at the West Campus. Our students live together. They live in close contact with each other at 2 different residence halls. Student resources and services are available to both our immersion campus-based students and for our online students. Tutoring, ASU counseling, career services, and health services are all certain ways that we support our student life at ASU and ASU Online for Thunderbird. Next slide.
And we thought we would take a moment just to hear from our students directly. Hopefully this works. Here we go. Just a moment here. Okay, this we may have to just direct you to where to find these videos online. I was afraid we might have a little bit of a glitch, but give me just another moment to see if I can get this going. All right, well, we're gonna move on, I think. So sorry about that. And let's see. Oops, sorry, guys. Okay. Are we back to transfer courses? Is that what everybody is seeing on the
Yes,
screen? Okay.
yes, that's where
All
we're
right,
at.
Jasmine, back to you. So sorry the video didn't work.
So it's good to preface that we're going to accept your transfer student wherever they are at in their program and progression to graduation. But these are just some transfer student foundations, some course foundations that are a part of our program that your student should be able to get at your institution in the lower division. CIS 105, college algebra is super important because that leads into economics at ASU, public speaking, statistics, accounting 231, financial accounting and managerial accounting combined to complete our global accounting course in TGM 200. And as Rachel mentioned earlier, international trade majors will take as a part of our program brief calculus and calculus for business analysis. If these specifically are not available at your institution, many students can take calculus with analytic geometry 1 and 2, which are equivalent to math 270 and 271 at ASU. Next slide. Transfer course foundations just support your students' progression and kind of a jumping off point into the major. So best case transfer scenarios, as many of you advisors know, the AA, the AGS, and the AJEC transfer to ASU to position your student in a really great spot. 2.5 GPA, 3.0 GPA, those are great. General studies usually included with AA degrees are humanities. We do require 2 lab sciences. We talked about the foundational transfer courses. And if your student has a second language or is interested in a second language, they can absolutely begin that second language at your institution and transfer it to ASU. Next slide. Thunderbird result. When your student comes in well equipped to us with their 64 credit hours from an AA, that means they have 56 hours remaining at ASU to reach our minimum graduation credit. That means they'll be launching into major courses focused in global management and international trade. We'll be working with them pretty early to start building internship connections and interest. Also via our classes in TGM 391 that Steve spoke about earlier. It means they could complete their bachelor degree in 4 semesters. And as Asia told us earlier, they do have the option with a 3.0 ASU GPA to include 12 credit hours shared towards the accelerated master's degree that also share in their undergraduate degree.
Thanks, Jasmine. So we have gotten to the end portion of our presentation. We did just want to put a reminder up about admissions requirements. We don't ask for anything above and beyond the ASU requirements, so that will be the same. We have many international students in our program and try to make sure that we don't put any barriers to admission to our program. So this is just a quick snapshot of admission requirements. And we will also give you Thunderbird's information if you want to jot this down or take a quick screenshot. Many thanks for dealing with the technical difficulties today. I apologize about that. But we will have the My Path to ASU folks present next on all of the great resources and tools to use to make sure that your student has a smooth transfer. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathy Silberman. I'm with Academic Alliances at ASU. And thank you so much, Thunderbird, for all of that valuable information. it's great to see all of our partners online today. So I just wanted to say it's always my pleasure to share the benefits of my path to ASU with you. So if you're an advisor or a counselor, depending on where you are in the country, you'll have these benefits so you can pass that information on to students. If you're a student who might have joined us today, just so you'll know why you'll want to sign up for my path to ASU. We did just receive a question in the chat about, are there articulated pathways? And yes, there are, and that's my path to ASU. So we will jump right in. Students save time and money with my path to ASU because first, they're starting with you. They're maximizing their transfer credit at the community college. And second, they are following a course by course and term by term pathway that minimizes the loss of transfer credit overall. There are over 400 transfer pathways to choose from in my path to ASU. And these pathways show students which classes to take at their current college, along with any additional admission requirements for other academic units at ASU and for specific majors. Students can track their transfer progress along the way using a part of my path to ASU called My Transfer Guide, which I'll show you in just a moment. And another benefit of the program is that students receive invitations to online and in-person events, and also reminders and important deadlines from the university and the ASU college that houses their major. When students complete all of their pathway requirements and of course apply to the university, they will be admitted into the major of their choice as long as all pathway requirements are met. Next slide. So the URL in maroon here takes you to the search tool to see all of the pathways in my path to ASU. It's also where students go to sign up for a pathway. One of the really great things I think about this tool is that as an advisor or counselor, you don't have to create an account as if you were a student just to access the pathways. So you can quickly and easily look up pathway requirements for students. I love that. Next slide. And so when you want to simply look at the pathways, explore, compare requirements between different pathways, etc., you'll click on search my path to ASU majors and it takes you right to the search tool. So let's watch this video if it works. If not, then it's just music and it just kind of gives you a preview of the tool. But like I said, we're going to be posting this on our website, the Academic Alliance's website, shortly after the presentation today. What do you think, Asia? Should we skip it for time?
Let me see if, yeah, let me see if it works. You all let me know if this looks like it's coming through.
It does look like it.
Got this one to work. Okay, great.
Thank you. So as you can see with all of those arrows, if you're exploring and if you're a student and you're ready to sign up or you want to show a student where to sign up, then you can just click on that sign up button. But if you go to that URL to get into it, then you can just go right to the sign up. And so let's go to the next slide. And instead of search majors, you're going to just click on get started on My Path to ASU, and that will take you right to the sign up. Next slide. All right, so the students are going to enter the college that they're attending, and go ahead to the next slide, please. And as this note in gold, if one back, please. I know sometimes it gets ahead of itself, doesn't it? Thanks. That gold note indicates that if you're attending a Maricopa Community College, if a student is attending Maricopa College, they'll automatically, once they put in their college here, they're going to be directed to Maricopa's student information system to complete the sign up. So as you know, if you work in Maricopa, you all house your own sign ups. So then they'll go through the very similar steps at your website. And next slide, please. So back to students outside of Maricopa, and then also it kind of parallels what those students in Maricopa do. They're going to enter the ASU major, related information. The tool is going to narrow down the choices so they won't have a million things to pick from that they might be unsure of. It's going to show the college and the location that degree is offered. And they will also select the semester they plan to transfer to ASU. Next slide. And they'll put in a little information about themselves. Next slide. They'll also sign off to acknowledge the terms of the agreement, the 4-year time frame to complete the pathway. Also, students can sign up for a new pathway if they need more time. So just wanted to note that. They're also signing off on the FERPA statement that explains that ASU and their community college is going to exchange the academic information to support a smooth transfer and to make sure that they get all of the benefits of My Path to ASU. And at that point, they can click on My Transfer Guide on the button there that you see on the right to see their interactive transfer guide. Next slide. The first time they do this, they're going to be prompted to set up a username and password. From then on, they can go back to TCG, that stands for Transfer Credit Guide, tcg.asu.edu anytime to pull up their My Transfer Guide. They'll sign in on the side that says I registered without an ASU account, unless they've ever attended ASU before and they already have a login. Next slide. And they'll see their transfer guide, which won't look like this, but
We'll try the video here.
Yeah. Okay, so
Maybe not, folks. Sorry, we'll move on.
that's okay. That's okay. I think we had a little trouble converting over from slides to PowerPoint, so no problem at all. This is what it looks like. This is a close-up of it, actually. And so it looks very similar to what you just saw when you're exploring the pathways, although it's a little bit more interactive. You can see that students can mark completed or in progress in the course progress column. They can also print this out as a PDF, so that comes in handy when they're working with you all, and also just to keep track in another way if the paper copy comes in handy. Also, those tabs across the top are going to be helpful in different ways. The course search comes in handy if they have any coursework that they've done other than at your college, then they can put the courses in there and see how those will transfer and apply to their pathway. The My Path to ASU tab, the second one, is what we're on right now. And the exam search will show them the credit that they would receive for certain scores on standardized tests like CLEP and APIB and so on. Student resources is kind of a potpourri tab. And that's it for that one. Next slide, please.
I think we,
Oh,
hopefully I
and
did.
that's
I think
it for
we're
My
at
Path
the
to ASU
completion.
overall. Yeah. I'll turn it
All
back to
right.
Aisha now.
Thank you all so much for attending. We definitely want to open it up for questions here at the last few minutes. So give us a second to, and of course, we'll continue to monitor Q&A and chat. And we will, let's see, go ahead and unmute. I know we had a hand up from Wendera. So I'm going to go ahead and let her turn on her microphone and ask a question while I unmute everyone else.
Yeah, thank you, Jasbif. My name is Wendera, and I'm one of the advisors at the Phoenix College. Just a few things. One of the slides that Jasmine presented before regarding the best transfer pathway, it says AA or AGS or EdGEC degree. So just to let you know that EdGEC is not a degree, but EdGEC is a block of courses embedded within AA, ABUS, and AS. So just like to let you know that one, okay? Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for
cool.
that
Yeah, sure, that's
clarification.
fine. Yeah, and the second thing, I do have a questions for Rochelle. Rachel indicate that from the 120 hours, that 30 hours must be taken at the ASU, correct? So that leave us with 90 hours outside ASU, right? So does that mean, as far as I know, all of us know that ASU accepts no more than 64 hours max, right? Does that mean that your program accepts up to 90 hours?
That would, thank you for the question. The
Good.
90 hours would be, for example, if a student were transferring credits from another like 4-year institute.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so it
I see.
it wouldn't,
Thank you.
yeah, it wouldn't be for community college hours.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. You're
Okay, thank you,
welcome.
Rachel. And that's all I have. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming. I'm working on unmuting everybody. So if you don't have a question, go ahead and mute yourself if you'd like to. And then
There
we can also
is
take.
a question in the Q&A. There are two now. The first one says, how does the Master of Management differ from ASU's MBA program? What are the benefits of a T-Bird Master's over an MBA?
I can cover some of that, and if Steve or Professor Gemmiti or Professor Nelson want to jump in, really kind of at the core of everything we do here at Thunderbird, so the Master of Management or the online Master of Leadership and Management, everything is built up from the ground up from a global perspective. Our students we have a much more international pool of students in general, so you're going to get a lot more global perspectives on issues or topics, foundational topics that you're talking about in the program, as well as all of our staff is international. I mean, staff, faculty are really coming from an international perspective. And our global network, we've touted a lot about that in the presentation, but you really get those kind of international connections that you might not be kind of as prolific in WP Carey's MBA program. So those are just a few things. Anybody else want to add?
Yeah, so I think this is the focus is definitely, as Asia was saying, on global, international. So all of the courses, the course in marketing is more on global marketing. The course in strategy is on global strategy, right? So there's definitely this strong emphasis on that. So the students that come into our program, that are attracted to our program, that is their focus as well. So you're working with like-minded students, and you really develop some close bonds and friendships with those kinds of students. That helps your network. And then, of course, we, in addition to the standard functional business courses in accounting and marketing and strategy, all those wonderful things, we offer courses specifically on things like the global business environment, navigating global and regional business environments in those graduate courses. So, and in our undergraduate program, we have those kinds of courses as well. So I think that, you learn about doing business in Asia, you learn about doing business in Africa, in Europe, in ways that you don't learn in a standard business program. And then by the end, when you graduate, you have access to this network. As Asia mentioned, all over the world that no other business school has. No, I went to other places. I've studied other programs. Nothing is like the Thunderbird international network of people and alumni that stand ready to help you anywhere in the world. So I think this is what sets Thunderbird apart.
We also have a question from Frida about possibly pursuing a master's in global management and wanting to get some financial aid. At the Thunderbird School of Global Management, we have our own scholarships that we review for. There's actually a spot on our website that has a whole bunch of information and resources on that. So Frida, if you want to go ahead and we'll get some information out about that too, if you let us know what your information is. So we'll get that from sign up from Kathy. So we'll get that out to you. Thank you. Anything else? It looks like Josh has a specific question about transfer courses.
Yes, so accounting 231 and accounting 241 do combine to meet the TGM 200 accounting requirement. The TGM 200 is a 3-credit accounting course that focuses on both financial and managerial accounting. So those 2 classes will cover the content that you need and equal TGM 200.
Excellent. We have a few more minutes here. Any other questions we can help with? Well, we're so glad everyone joined today, and we will get this material together and posted and out to everybody. So just look for some additional information about how to find these resources. And of course, we would love to hear from any of you that may have questions. So I'm going to pop back onto our contact slide, just so you have that maybe screenshot or make note of it. So love to hear from any of you that may have questions about your students or how we may be a great fit for your student. Thanks again for joining, everybody. Thank you. We really enjoyed having you today. Thank you for listening. I'm going to stop my share. So nice to see everybody that joined today. Again, thanks everyone. Take care.